$1.36 or $1.30 or whatever it is.
All right, you are streaming.
We are streaming.
$1.30.
Cool.
Are we doing the game first or?
Did it work? I wasn't here last week. Did you guys do the game first last week? Did it work out great?
No, we did it last.
Did you do it last?
Work out at all.
Oh, what happened?
I made the goddamn questions too hard.
Obviously, fucking go figure. Corey, you should not be allowed to make the questions.
Never
up for the
again.
game.
Ever again. I am sorry.
Like, your wrestling knowledge is like a quantum physicist getting high school students on questions. He's like, you know what? I mean, I don't even know. I can't even like sprout quantum physics like fucking terminology out. But you get it.
What is Paul Roma's real name?
Who the fuck is Paul Roma?
Yeah, I boxed with God on that one.
I guess.
Fucked up. Well, we all make mistakes from what I've
That's true.
read.
Some make more than others.
Some of us make $3,000 mistakes.
Oh, got him.
Hey-o, not anybody. Nobody we know. What if he tunes in?
Yeah, I don't think so.
T.O. just not having any of it. N.W.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The following podcast is scheduled for one fall, and there will be no disqualifications. Making their way to the ring from lineupmedia.fm at a combined weight of 849 pounds, the Three Horsemen.
Actually, crap. Sorry, guys.
Uh-oh. We're going crazy to start the show.
My bad. I messed something up on the setup.
That's all right. We need to go do it again.
I mean, if you want.
That's Brian, our producer. We're leaving this in.
Sorry. Okay. Here, I'll just rewind it a little bit.
Hey.
Here we go.
The Three Horsemen.
Hot takes and early morning. Just it was a mix-up. It wasn't a screw. It's a mix-up.
Hot takes and pot cakes.
There it is. That's why we got Eric with us. We got Eric today. We got Noah Everett. We got Eric. We got T.O. We got Alex. We got me. I'm Corey. I got to get a new name.
I got to get a new name.
Well, I mean, jeez. Although it could be anyway.
That was very Psycho Sid-ish promo whenever they were
right.
live, and he's like, "Let's do it again."
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
It always sounds like he said, "We're live, Hal." I'm like, Sid Vicious's real name's Hal?
Hal.
Hal Udy?
Yes.
That's a trivia question. Hey, it's the Three Horsemen. Check us out on Yo Radio. YoRadio.com. That's our app. We're going live eventually. I'm not even giving weeks anymore. But it's going to happen. So check out Yo Radio. Download the app, YoRadio.com. Check us out on YouTube.com/TheThreeHorsmen show. The Three Horsemen Show. / We got our old steel deal, and we're on Facebook, Three Horsemen Show. Actually, it's The Three Horsemen Show. I always say Three Horsemen. My bad. Same with Twitter. One day we'll use it again. Probably not.
It's there.
Still exists.
It's our throwaway.
That's right.
Yeah, we got to update that YouTube URL right there. That's not right on the.
I know.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
We got rid of Surreal Talk, but we kept our old shit.
Honestly, I think Everett just pasted the other camera right over the top of it.
He did.
Didn't even get rid of it. He just put the other camera there.
We're high tech around here. We're live on YouTube, and you'll hear this show one day.
Hey, speaking of live, it's not often we see T.O. on camera. Check this out.
Oh, I didn't mean to have myself on the camera.
That'll change. He's an Ole Miss baseball fan. What can you say?
Just a little flustered this morning. Anyway.
What's going on? Anything up to date we don't know about?
I was waiting on T.O. to ask if we watched Raw last night.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really watch
Oh,
much
okay.
of it.
Well, that's my answer every week.
Yeah.
I did read, I saw a picture of Mick Foley in the ring, and he didn't look good.
No, he's not getting around good.
Yikes. I didn't see how he walked or anything. I just saw a picture of him.
I wonder if that could have anything to do with, like, all the crazy fucking matches that he's done and fallen 30 feet off of steel cages.
That killed him!
Yeah. Well, it was the 20th anniversary of Hell in the Cell. Like, I guess it's this weekend, so they were
celebrating the 20 years he lived after it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't he
Fuck, I
do something
wouldn't.
that knocked his tooth through his lip or something like
Yeah, he
that?
got thrown through the cage.
And then the chair hit him in the face on the way down, right?
Yeah.
That guy was hard fucking core,
You know, I don't even think that's the best part. He ended the match, and then he came out and interfered. This is after it. And interfered in Stone Cold and Kane's match after that.
That's right.
He fucking came back out. Wouldn't you be
Legend.
Wouldn't you be in the hospital?
I would.
I'd at very least be showered and back at the hotel minimum, but yeah, I'd probably be in the ER.
He wouldn't have been in the hotel because he would have been in his cheap rental car driving to the next spot to a cheap. They say he's one of like the most frugal and was just a tight ass.
I would have gone home to that wife of his back then.
Yeah, he did well for himself.
Although, I saw her. I've seen her now in that. Didn't they have a show?
I didn't watch it, but yeah, I believe they had something on the network.
I can't tell if she's acting or if she's actually like that now. She's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine there's probably something not all there.
Yeah,
being
but
with them.
they also have to have characters on the show, so I'm thinking maybe it's a work, as they say in wrestling.
Could be. Or
Anyway.
it could be a shoot.
First week of the NFL. Does everyone have fantasy teams, or is it just T.O. and I?
Yeah, I don't have a fantasy
I
team.
don't have fantasy teams. I stopped doing that probably 4 or 5 years ago. I just if I do it, I want to be able to put in the time to, I don't know, do it right, for lack of a better term.
Fair enough.
And
She looks like a gypsy.
don't have that time.
Mick Foley's wife? Looks like a gypsy.
A little bit. T.O., how'd you do in fantasy this week?
How much you lose?
3-1, I believe.
Not bad.
Or no, 2-2. I'm sorry, but I put up the third most points in one league and lost. My brother beat me because his defense scored 20 last night.
Not bad.
It's the high scorer in 2 leagues, and then got spanked in another.
So you gonna win some money or what?
Nah, not. I mean, it's just a end of
Week
the year
one.
thing. Yeah.
Week 1. I went 1-1. I hear you.
Yep. Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
The excitement of pro wrestling podcasting.
My daughter watches Raw every Monday.
Thank you. What now?
My daughter, she watches Raw every Monday. Literally doesn't miss it. Every Monday.
Why does she watch? This is kind of interesting because I have
You
twin
know-
daughters, and,
And don't show her the old shit, or she'll never watch again.
one of them's kind of into it, but this is where Alex is gonna have a huge issue with. She just likes watching the girls wrestle.
Man,
No, I'm serious. She's
Alex, calm down. He's flashing signs.
no,
she's
I'm
a-
just
she's
laughing
a-
because he's the one that brought
He
it up.
keeps
and not
waving
you.
his hand and putting the throat slash sign, and I'm like, dude, just chill out. We're gonna talk about women for a
she's
second.
4.5, so I don't know, but she only likes watching the girls matches.
My kid, I think, she started watching it because her cousin watches it all the time. My nephew, and he's, they order all the pay-per-views and stuff, and she, will go over there and watch the pay-per-views with them, and she likes it. I mean, she likes John Cena, she likes Dean Ambrose. She
likes Dean Ambrose. And
She
John
does.
Cena. That's like
that's who she likes. What
Good
So,
times.
I try to tell her about the wrestlers that I remember. None of them are really wrestling anymore.
Paul Roma.
Like, we relate through The Rock. You
Oh,
know what
The
I mean?
Rock is your
We
guy,
relate
okay.
through The Rock because she knows who The Rock is from movies, and I try to tell her, well, like, before he was a big movie star, we sat down and watched him every Monday night like you're doing. We watched him fucking lift his eyebrow and do the people's elbow, you know what I mean? Like, we watch this, so we kind of relate
like it.
through The Rock, you know what I mean? Because she did, and then I'll show her like old clips. I'm like,
So
look,
now she thinks that Dean Ambrose is going to be a huge movie star in 10 years.
Anything's,
I don't know
anything's
about that.
By the way, did he take all the steroids before he came back?
He didn't
or
leave any
just
for anyone else.
some?
he took Lesnar's portion.
If I was Dean Ambrose, I know what I'd be working out, and it would not be in the gym. It would be at home because
So you got a
his
good looking,
wife
yeah.
fucking
Renee Young.
I gotta look.
She's an announcer.
Now she's a full-time.
She's full-time. She
Yeah.
took Coachman's spot.
Oh, God,
I
that's
did
gotta-
see that.
That makes me so angry.
That's got to
said
kill
Alex.
you. Are you okay?
I'm good.
I heard.
I'm good.
What's next?
I think
Female referees.
Alex
Where
had
are we going to draw the line with this?
Alex just
Dude, I
buried
typed
his
in-
cat last night after he murdered it.
I typed in
upon hearing that
DEA.
news.
I typed in DEA. The first thing that came up was Dean Ambrose's wife. This is above Dean Ambrose.
I know. I get it.
I'm excited to
Renee
see-
Ambrose.
Oh, my
she'll
Lord.
she'll leave WWE.
She should be on ESPN.
2-3 years tops. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think she's better than Coachman is.
Is she Canadian?
I think it's
God.
Is she a Canuck?
She's gorgeous is what she is. Whatever you
Yeah, I
She
could
worked
see.
for TSN before this.
That's what I was gonna say. I wonder if she would go back and do hockey.
Team Solo Mid?
Team what?
Team Solo Mid? That's a video game thing. It's a professional video game team, TSM.
Yep, that's who she plays for. TSN.
TSM. Team Solo Mid.
Fuck.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it either.
He knows. He knows his video. I don't know it. I was like, what? It's like Steve Corridor or whatever. Who are you telling me about?
Crowder.
Steve Crowder.
Steven Crowder.
Steve Corridor.
I remember. Okay.
Corduroy?
I
Steve
remember
Corduroy.
Renee Young popped up when they still had that WWE 24/7, that on-demand thing.
Mm-hmm.
She popped up on an episode of when they would do like the Raw replay, something like that. And she just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, who is this chick? She's almost got like a little tiny lisp. I don't. Would it be a speech impediment? Kind of what I got right now. No, you don't notice it.
No, it's funny you brought up a lisp because I swear last night that the big jacked guitar guy, Elias, I think he has a lisp with S's. And I think they had him purposely saying stuff with S last night because it sounded awful.
Are you talking about on Raw?
Yes.
The show you watched?
Yes,
right.
I did watch some of it last night. Now that you say that, I was back and forth though, but that was last night.
Back and forth between which guy you liked or what?
Oh, football.
Oh, okay.
I was watching football last
Were you?
night.
No, he's watching
Is that-
Raw Nitro.
Is that manly enough for you?
Yeah, Alex, is it? He's asking about men. And
I was watching
know you hate
football on the
women.
hunting channel.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, hunting.
Why are you
Hunting
yelling?
and fishing.
Why are you yelling? I do wonder. Is it because it's September 11th? Is this a dark day for
He
you?
had the cooking channel on his phone, though.
American.
America. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's called Liberty. I was told that one time.
Enjoy
on the
it.
Surreal Talk podcast
You're
show.
welcome.
1 year today for me here.
No way.
Today, yeah, 1 year.
You started on September 11th.
Of course I did.
Can't have any
Everett
bad luck
asked,
there.
Everett asked me, he says, you want to go the 11th or the 17th? Or the 18th or something like that. And I was like, oh, of course the 11th. Why would
What do you think we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, so
What,
yeah, 1 year today.
Pizzagate. That's the day it
What do you
started.
think about 9/11? Was it an inside job, or do you think it
So,
was?
so when I first started researching
Here it
that,
comes.
I used to make bold claims and assess and just statements of what I thought. What
This
I
is our
think-
sneak peek at the Surreal Talk show.
What I
so go
think
ahead.
is that I don't know what happened, but I know what they said happened.
Hold on.
Is
I
not
can
the
tell
real
you
story.
real quick.
Okay, hold on.
I can tell you one thing that happened. A plane flew into the World Trade
Yeah.
Center, and then I can tell you the second thing. Another plane flew into the other World Trade
29.
Center.
Tell me about
77
the third thing. What else happened?
There was a World Trade Center 7 that a plane didn't hit that
Hold on.
fell at free fall speed.
What was the other thing that got hit?
Pentagon
The ground.
Yeah,
the
what was the
ground,
Pentagon
Pennsylvania.
hit? What was the Pentagon hit by?
missile. Cruise
Yeah,
missile.
Really?
It wasn't a plane.
Not a
You
chance.
should see the videos
So
of this
think about
thing.
this. This is the most secure building in the northern hemisphere with, just complete CCTV camera footage everywhere. We get 5 still frames of what looks
From
like
a gas station.
Yeah, from a gas station, and there's cameras everywhere. I mean, you can literally look at the aftermath photos and see cameras right on top of the Pentagon where it was hit. Like there's cameras right here. Like you could. Where's that footage at? We get 5 fucking still frames.
And this thing
Give me
looks
fucking
like a
break.
missile that
Give me
hits
fucking
it.
break.
It does not look like a plane.
No.
I mean, it's crazy.
So we're supposed to believe that it was the same type of plane that hit the Twin Towers that caused a 30-story fireball when it hit, right? I mean, I'm just saying. So, like, why didn't it burn the whole fucking Pentagon to the ground? I mean,
It is the
never
most
mind.
secure building in the northern hemisphere.
Never-
You
go
just
ahead.
said.
Yeah,
Go-
that's-
yeah.
that's
So
true. Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Well,
They got good firefighters there. I mean,
they've proven that footage has been tampered with because you mentioned they have one camera. There's actually 2 that they've released in different spots. So one of them is that one where you got the security car, cop car, whatever
Yeah.
it is that's driving through. There's one that's in front of that. And
I have not
This
seen
is
that.
fucking awesome. Keep going.
I've told you about this.
No, I have not seen that footage.
Well, okay.
Of the Pentagon?
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks like it's the same angle. It's just like one camera is in front of it, staggered a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same footage that shows like a blur of a white plane.
The tail section of a 767 is 42.5 feet tall.
But
the entire Pentagon's like 40 feet.
But
Sorry, folks. This is the rest of the show.
Yeah. No,
Continue.
No, just I'm done after this. But just
No.
they've showed that the one. Okay, so the one from the rear camera is the one that we're used to seeing. There's one in the front that's been tampered with because you don't see, like, if you line them up as far as like,
timing,
the timestamp on them or whatever. The first one's been tampered with. Mm-hmm. It doesn't show the exact same white blur at the same time.
What does it show?
Nothing.
A cartoon plane hitting
or it shows
It was
the
animation.
Or I think it shows like the blur coming in later.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's
So why would the government do this? If the government was in on it, or if there was some type of thing, why do you think they did it?
I wouldn't even say that. I would say that they had intel that it was going to happen and didn't stop it to further, like, I mean, think about all the laws that got passed since then, like the Patriot Act and all that stuff. It's just an erosion of our rights 100% since 9/11, you know what I mean?
Then a war. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the Iraq War, which they honestly didn't have anything to do with. Where was the WMDs there,
who
bud?
made a lot of money?
Totally agree with
Who
that.
made a lot of money off that?
Cheney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Don't worry, they're doing that right now. Space Force.
New World Order.
Yeah, there's the New World Order.
there's
right there.
our lead in right there.
Doing it.
T.O.
I was working it the whole time.
T.O. He was waiting for his moment, and he walked right through the door. He strutted through the door
Yes, he did.
like Vinny McMahon.
Oh, I was thinking more like Buff Bagwell.
Oh,
then
we're
you-
going to talk about some
you gotta-
Buff
you
Bagwell
gotta go
today,
quicker.
boy. We are in your... And he gets up and leaves on.
exactly.
Oh, no. He's just doing a strut. You can see it in the back. Look in the back of T.O.'s camera, man.
Buff
he's
and
doing
he's
it.
the stuff.
He's doing it. Oh, folks.
Is he strutting or skiing?
You are in for a show today. We are talking about
Yes, you are.
the New World Order, not organization, the New World Order. And,
Of wrestling, brother.
Of wrestling.
yeah, well, I'll give you a,
You know something?
we only use the best sources. So, Wikipedia.
Of course.
We'll give you a rundown of the concept. The NWO storyline was an idea created by WCW executive vice president Eric Bischoff, whose inspiration for the angle came after attending New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle Formation show at the Tokyo Dome, which he somewhat disputes, of course. The show was headlined by an NJPW New Japan versus UWFI match for the... God damn, this is just all letters.
It's all
Anyway, it was originally portrayed as a separate entity from WCW. Often propaganda-style vignettes, the black and white, and product commercials with the NWO were presented in the style of a broadcast signal intrusion, which we all remember. That
Oh, yeah.
somebody should have
Following has
some-
been brought to you by the New World Order.
And he took the words right out of my mouth. Others, such as Kevin Nash, television director Craig Leathers, also doesn't get enough credit. Chief WCW Booker Terry Taylor, the Stooge, and Taylor's assistants Kevin Sullivan and Paul Orndorff all contributed their own ideas to the NWO concept. So first off, concept-wise, what are the thoughts here?
I don't understand.
Not
what you're
everybody at
asking.
once.
This completely changed pro wrestling. I mean, at this point for me, I was
did.
I was losing interest altogether. Regardless of the brand, because in WWF you still had the cartoon characters, and in WCW at this point you had brought in Hogan already, but I was getting burnt out on Hogan. I was getting burnt out on Savage. As far as other guys like Sting and Luger,
Ice Train. What?
Ice Train.
You don't have the Attitude Era without this
Hacksaw Jim
either.
Duggan? I mean, what? The Dungeon of Doom? What?
There you go.
What's wrong with these guys?
Exactly.
Shockmaster.
The Macho Man, what's it called when you have to pay your wife? Alimony. The alimony angle. I mean, that
It's
was
called
hot.
maintenance now.
This stuff wasn't hot to you guys? This is big shit. You guys just missed out on the best and then they had to do this New World Order bullshit.
What was the most brilliant part about the New World Order, in your opinion? Like that was like, Jesus Christ, these guys this is great.
The most brilliant part?
When they brought in Virgil. What?
Well,
Vincent.
Well, wait a minute.
Vincent.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Thank you.
No, keep going.
Eric's about coming off his rocker over there.
I think what would have killed it immediately, or wouldn't it, giving them their real names.
Mm-hmm.
Little things at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
This could have got sideways, not sideways, but it could have went off the tracks way sooner than it did if they didn't do. Pretty much if Nash and Hall didn't have as much creative control with it, because some of the shit Hogan was wanting to do. I mean, you just hear the stories. Of
What was Hogan wanting to do that he didn't get to?
Well, watch their promos.
That's what I was going to say was the most brilliant part was, like Corey mentioned earlier, the propaganda. Those videos were fucking
But
genius.
Hogan still does them
in
in Hulk Hogan character. They're just talking like that. They're just two guys.
Well, you talk about the New World, brother.
And they don't care. They're just playing it off as like, and Hogan's still playing the over the top character.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think if Hogan would have had his way with more, it would have been worse. But like those guys, you probably couldn't have had two better guys to build that around and start it around, just because they were big names in WWF at the time. They come over. They had younger people guessing. I mean, we were in high school at the time. The internet wasn't around. I think right now it'd be tougher to do it because of the internet. But you don't have the internet. There's dirt sheets that, if people had those. But you were literally watching every Monday night to see if, you didn't know who was going to show up. You didn't know. I mean, at that age, I didn't know Diesel's contract was up. I didn't know Razor Ramon's contract was up.
No, they jumped ship, bud.
But I mean, once they showed up there, I was smart enough to know they were on contract, but it was a brilliant way to introduce them.
Right.
Coming through the crowd, not coming through the back. Like there's.
I have to admit, I didn't see any of this live because I wasn't watching.
But a lot of the ways they did this stuff gave it authenticity that the attention to detail today, it would never happen that way.
True.
I was going to say, I think the most brilliant part of it was just the initial execution of it and the build-up of it, because you didn't have them both coming out on TV at the same time. Hall comes out the first week.
First week being May 27th, 96.
Nash comes out. Does he come out the following week, or is it the week after?
I think a week after. I think there was a little bit of time in between.
But the build-up of it, the execution, they have him show up on the pay-per-view where they, Nash jackknives Bischoff through the table.
Yeah, it was
off
June
the stage.
2nd that Kevin Nash appeared on
So was it a week later or 2 weeks
TV.
later?
It was their contracts ended on May 19th. Was their last match of the Garden. So May 27th, Hall's on TV. June 2nd, Nash is on TV. And then the date, I don't have the date of the Great American Bash where they put Bischoff through a table, which looked fucking dangerous.
Yeah, I wish it would have been more.
Well,
couldn't come out
But
paralyzed.
the street clothes. I mean, it's everything. Like they
Denim Dan, Scott Hall.
no, but I mean
There was a lot of denim.
Ton of denim and fanny packs.
But they did
like
it.
a motherfucker.
They did it in a way that nothing said wrestling over the top. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't cartoon era shit. It wasn't
I know,
the stuff.
and
it wasn't stuff WCW was doing before. It was more cutting edge. It was more
right. And Bischoff wanted to use more real life characters, as evidenced by, I mean, look at what they were doing. Real life characters like Glacier and Mortis. And who are some of the other great real life characters they were doing? That Mortal Kombat, that's great stuff. Because, I mean, obviously, he was trying to go more real life and stay away from the cartoons, huh?
But that was what got him away.
Okay. Still, they were doing it. It's not like they just kibosh on all of it. They still had that shit. So he's a fucking liar. He got lucky.
I don't know if you can. I mean, I don't know if you can say lucky.
Why not? He didn't know Hogan was going to be the other guy. We talked about this.
I know that. I think there's a lot of things that fell into place, but still, I mean, the original angle wasn't theirs. But WWE never did it. Their original execution of it, you can't say that was luck.
WWE never did it because they weren't buying guys away from WCW.
I understand that.
Okay,
but
whatever. Buying away, giving them guaranteed contracts with less dates is what
They
it
knew
is.
that was out there.
Right.
I mean, they knew they ran that angle. For them to have the presence to run the angle with these two guys, it was, I mean, was there luck involved with some of it? Yeah, but there was also some strategy, some execution that you have to give them credit for.
Yeah, I don't know why WWE didn't bring in Tom Zink and Van Hammer and run the same angle.
Tom Zink.
Who fucking knows?
I haven't heard
Hold
that name
on,
in 20
hold on.
years.
Brad Armstrong's not doing anything on TV. Let's
But
snag him.
They had brought Flair over earlier in '91. They had, I mean,
Okay.
Austin came over in '90.
End of 95, beginning
95.
of 96.
So I mean, they had instances to where they could have done it with some of their guys. The problem was they weren't their huge stars. But when did
The
Vader?
problem was you didn't have two gigantic. No,
when Vader
gigantic.
when Vader come over though.
95, 6 there in that area.
I mean, there's
End of 95, beginning of 96.
Sid came over. I mean, the thing is you can't.
Sid, Vader, and Austin.
But I don't think you could do it with WCW because they weren't as national at the time.
You didn't
WWE
have two
was bigger.
huge stars' contracts come up a week apart. They got lucky. It's lucky. This is all luck.
I can't say all of it's luck. I can't.
Well, fuck, not when you get in the middle of it.
I'm not a
drawing huge
WCW
ratings.
guy. I mean, I'm not a huge. I don't defend them, but I don't think it's all luck. Now, granted, if we talked about if Hogan's not the third guy, doesn't get over as big, doesn't last as long.
Okay, Sting. We talked about
No,
this. Go back in the
it's not
archives
a
and check
huge
out our
deal.
Monday Night War stuff. Right.
Because Hogan buries all three of them within 3 pay-per-views, and it's over. I mean,
No argument.
Yeah, that's what would have happened.
Hogan, Savage, and Jim Duggan take on the New World Order. 6-minute match. Get all your shit in, boys.
New World Organization.
That's right.
Isn't that what he called it the first?
Yeah. So, I mean, the concept's great. I mean, right, internet couldn't do it today. Wouldn't be the same, obviously. But I just...
I mean, hell, WWF, I mean, they had a chance to rebook it.
yeah, great job. Wonderful execution. And obviously we talked about Scott Hall. You know who I am, all that stuff. Kevin Nash. Look at the adjective. Play. It's a verb. The hostile takeover. So you fast forward a couple weeks. July 7th, Bash at the Beach. You've got your Sting, Savage, Luger in face paint versus Hall and Nash. Who's the third guy? You guys take it away, whatever you've got thought-wise.
You know, I don't remember.
You didn't order that pay-per-view?
No, I didn't.
Oh, all right.
I don't remember who I thought the third person would be. I had no idea. But I'm sure thinking at that point in time, I was thinking someone from WWF.
Arn Anderson.
I was thinking it would be someone where they came from.
Paul Roma.
I don't know who. But that's where I know
Ice
that's
Train.
probably where my head was at.
Well, they didn't
Cold
even give Ice
Scorpio.
Train a chance. Too Cold Scorpio.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
could have been Too Cold. Could it not?
Too Cold Scorpio.
You don't think it goes over as well?
Do you remember who you thought it would be?
Flash Funk? Terry Funk's brother from another mother, man? It could have been the deal.
Wait a minute. They had an African-American dance?
I know. It never ends. The
Jeez.
fact that Ahmed Johnson didn't dance to the
Ahmed
ring
Johnson,
still
Jesus
baffles
Christ.
me to this day. Go ahead, Alex.
I just remember one. I don't know if it was the Observer, but one of the magazines at the time actually said, "Is Hogan the third man?" And even after that magazine,
man.
you guys all right over there?
Yeah. Somebody gave him control of the button. Sorry.
No.
So one of the magazines said it might be Hogan.
So and at the time, I'm just like, I have the same thought that we have now. At least I do. That if you put Sting in that position, it wouldn't work. Like it just.
Why do you think that is, Alex? Why do you think Sting in that position wouldn't work? Because I think Sting would have worked.
fuck was that? Why do you think that is, Alex?
Seriously, though, why? Why wouldn't Sting have worked right there?
I think it would have.
He's from WCW.
Well, obviously.
I mean,
It doesn't fit the narrative of a takeover, though.
Right?
That's why.
Okay.
I mean,
Hulk Hogan's the biggest name in the history of the business.
Yeah.
And he's never been a bad guy to that
Well,
generation.
that's why it
They
works so,
never saw it.
It works so well. It maybe would have worked.
I think
just not
Sting.
as
I
good.
think if So the story goes they had Sting as a backup because Hogan still wasn't sure if he wanted to do it or not. And I mean, on top of Sting never being a WWF guy, which is the whole premise of having Hogan do it, I think having Sting do it might have gone over for a month or two, but then it's like, how do you integrate the fact that you've got Nash and Hall that came over from the WWF? How do you integrate Sting into that as far as, that you might say, well, I'm tired of being the WCW hero, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know. I think after 2 months, 3 months maybe, it just doesn't.
It gets boring.
It stops being believable.
What do you think of Hogan's promo in the ring?
So where did Hogan stay the night before that they talked him into it?
The Hilton. Fuck, I don't know.
No, he stayed at someone's house, and they had to literally talk him into it, and they did not know if he was going to do the turn or not.
I mean, come on. How much do you believe all that?
I don't know. I mean, he's full of shit.
It's folklore.
I don't know.
He stayed at Kevin Sullivan's house
That's
in a sleeping bag.
No, isn't it the rumor he stayed at Sullivan's house, though?
Fuck, I guess.
I think so.
Oh, well, hold on. Where's the show?
It was in Florida. It was outside.
Daytona Beach. No, it was inside. It was the ocean side.
No, but it was outside. It was outside because they were, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
They dropped them from a helicopter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway. Man, how can we forget?
No, I mean, I do remember just the ring being flooded with trash.
Mm-hmm.
Next night on Raw or on Nitro.
I think you and I have learned that was on purpose. I mean, they had people throwing trash on purpose.
I think people were pissed.
You and I went to a show where they said, don't throw anything unless we tell you to. We were lucky enough to go to a WWE show in the past 5 years. I don't know how long ago it was.
The pay-per-view.
You are so lucky.
We know somebody that knows somebody. We were seat fillers.
Ooh.
This is breaking news. I guess we're going to get in trouble. No, the statute of limitations got to be gone on this.
Yeah, the contracts were only for 4 years.
Okay, perfect. So
we were contracted by the WWE.
Well, this was like 3 years ago. I don't know when it was.
Doesn't matter.
They have seat fillers. And the guy is going over the rules. Some of these people are like drooling. We're standing there going, what the fuck? And he said, don't throw anything unless we tell you to. So
did they give you signs and shit to hold up?
No. Some people had them.
Well, so say you always feel like those signs are plants. You know what I mean?
They were moving them over though. They'd get people up and move, and then they'd go put seat fillers in, like
hard camera side.
Yeah. Was Orton's family there for a little bit or something?
Front row. It was the chick he was dating.
Yeah. Was Flair there for a little bit? Or
no, James Laurinaitis was there.
Yeah. I mean, so there's some different things, but we did see Undertaker get snuck down to ringside.
You're talking two different events.
No, we were down there for that. That was the same thing.
You're right. No, I'm wrong. He's right.
Yeah,
yes.
because we were right there, and I go, look, there's someone in the middle of those referees. They went dark, and you could just see this blanket over someone, and then he was under the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or under the... Mm-hmm. That he attacked Lesnar. That was the only reason we went, because neither one of us had seen Lesnar. I don't think.
That was it was worth it. This guy's a fucking freak of nature in person.
Brock Lesnar?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Nothing like I had ever seen. He was juiced to the gills and
huge, dude.
Oh, my God. Freak show. Okay, back to it. They threw trash in the ring every week after this. Bottles, shit that...
That's why I don't think some of it was
to
plants.
That?
Like some of the shit they were throwing, I think there might have been a few.
The plants start it.
Yeah. No, I get it. But that's what you're saying. By the end of it, there's batteries getting thrown.
No, yeah. Somebody threw a tire iron at somebody. I mean, it's like, no, I'm joking. Jeez. But, I mean, it was legit stuff. You always go back. Now you can go back and watch old Nitro, and you'll see Nash catching shit fucking on the fly. Razor. Scott Hall getting hit with full beers.
Last time that
there
was
fixing his hair.
Yes.
That's my favorite one.
Last time that there was real heat.
Last time there was real heat?
I mean, that was... There were people pissed.
Can anybody else think of a time there's been heat? Legit
Since
heat?
then?
I don't know. It was... And I wasn't watching, so this is a legit question, but whenever the Nexus started...
No.
I wasn't watching. I mean, I know they destroyed the ringside shit, but they fired Daniel Bryan that night because he choked Roberts with the tie.
Right.
So I don't know if there was really that much heat from that, if they're going to fire someone from.
I mean, to say that there was heat and then they got so popular is a strange coincidence that people are throwing shit in the ring and then everybody's wearing an NWO shirt. Boy, those are some really mixed up people in life, aren't they?
But was it the first time that there was 50-50 people like your Cena, like your? I mean, you got guys that.
I get where you're coming from.
It started as being a takeover, but then, like, you kind of hinted at this earlier. You got Hall and Nash coming out to, like, Nash is wearing that Tupac do-rag or whatever, and so, like, people's like...
So was Nash.
Like, what'd I say?
Hall, they both were.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. But people were just jumping on board. It's like, this is really cool, and, you've got... was Craig Leathers the one that designed the shirts?
I'm not sure.
I guess it doesn't matter, but someone threw the idea out. It's like, hey, we got to sell these NWO shirts. But then, Nash is saying, no, it's like, you can't market this as a WCW item. Like, we need to be doing this ourselves.
So we get the money.
So, well.
I mean, he says that now. We don't know who said what at the time is the thing.
I believe them.
I believe Nash.
Nash is a smart.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about all the other stuff, but I agree.
Nash is a smart dude.
But you've according to Nash, you've got NWO guys having beautiful women sitting at tables just selling these shirts left and right. I mean, Nash said on an average Nitro they'd go through 2,000 shirts.
Anybody ever have a Nitro motherfucker NWO shirt? Anybody?
Yeah, I had both white and red.
I bet red was your favorite.
Flashing gang signs in here, why don't you?
Yeah, I did like the wolf pack.
All right.
Just backtracking a little bit to that initial promo, though, my favorite part of that is actually towards the end whenever Hogan's like flipping out and he grabs Okerlund, and Okerlund just like says something like, "Back off, I've got a fleet of lawyers," or something like that. It's like, who else can you can't have, Okerlund's the only one that can do that interview, which I think they strategically did that because Okerlund was also a WWF guy. If you
think that much planning went into it?
Well, okay, let's put it this way: who else was doing? Legit question: who else was doing interviews on WCW at the time?
Nobody.
It was just Okerlund.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know if Shivani was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I knew Shivani was doing the broadcasting, but I didn't know if they ever had him.
Bischoff would do in-ring segments. I mean, Bischoff would get out sometimes and do them.
Mm-hmm. But he was hurt.
Oh yeah, he got thrown through the thing.
Where?
I'm sorry.
Jesus, you guys got to stay with the storyline. You can actually follow this one in WCW, which is one of the first times in 10 years.
So this is where it gets tricky for me is when does it go off the rails for everybody? When do you lose interest?
Whoa. What?
Oh, I mean,
did you just hit fucking fast forward?
Well, some people it happened fast. That's all I'm saying.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Hold
You're
the
the
phone
leader
here.
of this. You go
Hold
ahead.
the phone. You've got all that shit. Hogan beats the Giant to win the WCW heavyweight title in August of '96. In September, they have the whole deal.
Where was that at? Do you know?
No, I don't have it in front.
Did they spray the belt then?
They sprayed the belt that night.
How much heat did that get? And that's why I asked where it was at.
Oh, at Hog Wild? Man.
Sturgis.
Those
Okay,
people
so
were
never
going
mind.
crazy.
So if that happens in Greensboro or Charlotte, do you think people flip out?
Yeah.
Because of the belt. I mean, the history.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excuse me, I have to use the restroom.
Not as big a fan of Hogan in Greensboro, no.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's one
Good call. You go to... This is where the storyline really starts to take hold. They go to Fall Brawl. They have the pay-per-view. They've got a fake Sting with them, and then Sting comes out, clears house, and walks out of the ring because they're questioning Sting. Then we get Crow Sting, and that's September. That's the following night. Sting tells the fans to stick it, and he's a free agent. Syxx joins the NWO that night.
I remember
known
that.
to many as X-Pacian.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Kid, you mean?
Right. That guy, the Lightning Kid to me from back in Global.
China's old
Nobody
man.
knows what I'm talking about.
No,
there,
I
John
know
Waltman.
what you're talking about.
I know he's Sean Waltman. I know his real
Right.
fucking name. Yeah.
Right.
I saw him in a movie once. It was called like One Night in China.
Yeah, traveling show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, Anthony Bourdain and Sean Waltman.
What are you gonna do? You know.
I don't know. So October, the October '96 Nitros see Vincent, known to us as Virgil, the wrestling superstar, with a table that nobody's at, and Marcus Alexander
Bagwell.
There it is.
joins the NWO.
Buff
Take it
Bagwell.
away.
I love him. I fucking loved his persona. I loved everything about that guy other than that hair. Other than that hair, that was the perfect character to me. I mean, you look at this motherfucker. You like.
Now, prior to this, you can go back in the future episode. I can't remember which one, or future episodes, previous episodes that Eric talked about his love. He didn't just love Buff Bat. He loved the American man.
Yeah.
And in
His
fact,
fucking partner in that.
Scotty
Scotty
Riggs.
Riggs.
Oh yeah.
Come on, have you seen Scotty Riggs these days?
No, I have not. I imagine he looks terrible like everyone else does.
Don't got no
Wrestle.
teeth.
Oh. Is he on crack or something?
Well, meth does that.
Oh.
That's the rumor, anyway. He's had some drug issues. We're all big Scotty Riggs fans.
It doesn't
but
make him not a good. It doesn't tarnish his memory. I feel like it just tarnishes who
he's
he is
not
now.
dead.
Well, I mean, he will be. So.
Okay, I'm okay, but the point is,
So will the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eventually.
Some sooner than others.
You like this propelled some guys. It hurt some guys, but it propelled. Bagwell uses this to his advantage and gets very popular and very over, as evidenced by Eric's love for Buff Bagwell.
like he was just like the arrogant, cocky, fucking. You know what I mean? Like, I like that guy. I like how he acts. You know what I mean? It was just, I fucking really enjoyed watching him in the ring, in his promos, interviews. I liked him. Buff Bagwell was cool, man.
He is buff and he is the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and then you pair him with fucking the giant Scott Steiner. You know what I mean? Jesus, that guy. Like, how do you go from the long-haired Scott Steiner you were to this?
He did it without flinching.
Injections. That's how
Dude,
you do
he
it.
had been blowing up for a year.
Motherfuck,
He
dude.
was huge before that. I mean, getting to where, obviously, he couldn't move like he had moved in the past, but God.
No. I think he like dropped the fucking Frankensteiner because he couldn't move his arms. I mean, like,
Yeah, it's not as easy to jump in the air and put your legs around somebody when you weigh put an extra 50 pounds on.
I mean, it really cuts your mobility out too when you're muscular like that. You can't move around like as fluid as you could. You know, your footwork's probably not as good when you're that. I mean,
Also had a back injury.
difference
Also
between-
developed drop foot. Yeah.
there's a difference between being fit and then just being fucking blown up huge. You can't really do as much. You know what I mean? Like you're limited in what you can
Well, his
do.
biceps look like he had a baseball in it.
Oh, you know, let's say softball. I mean,
If you would have stuck a pin in his ass, you would have shot chemicals for about a 60-mile.
oh, he was
60 mile
toxic.
range.
Yeah, his blood was toxic.
Fuck. Moving on. November sees they're about to have that World War III pay-per-view. I don't remember it, but it happened. Eric Bischoff joins the NWO in the infamous Piper segment where Piper comes in, grabs him by the neck. I think he used a profanity in it, asking him, "What's my driveway look like? You said you came and talked to me." They all come out and jump Piper. I guess I never mentioned the Giant had joined the NWO, but Giant wins World War III and gets a title shot at Hogan. This leads to basically a feud with them. The Nasty Boys join the NWO. I had forgotten about this.
I forgot they joined the NWO too until you just said that, literally. But they weren't they?
They were out in 2 weeks.
That was it.
Yep.
I was gonna
No
say I
wonder
didn't
nobody.
remember,
Nobody. Yeah, no wonder.
I didn't
nobody-
remember that at all.
Yeah. Well, apparently it happened, boys.
Wow.
This is from angelfire.com
Uh-oh.
with an NWO rundown for us. Thank you to Angel Fire. I don't think I've seen an Angel Fire website that still exists
I was
since
gonna say,
fucking
that's-
96.
This one does.
That's a long time.
It exists. This leads to Hogan's. He had a feud with Piper. Some of that. A lot of this is very forgettable. But the NWO is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then in January, this is where they start adding too many.
Mm-hmm.
It happened this quick. And NWO is still big, but they add Mr. Wall Street.
IRS.
Mike Rotundo.
Yes.
They add Scott Norton.
I fucking forgot about him too.
They add Big Bubba Rogers, also known as the Big Boss Man, also known as Ray Traylor.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Masahiro Chono joins. So they've got, that starts the beginnings of NWO Japan.
Was that the short, dark-haired with the face painted guy, right?
Yes.
It was. Yeah. Okay.
Now, we get to a not good spot. NWO Sold Out pay-per-view. This took place in Grand Rapids, Iowa. Is that right?
In a snowstorm or an ice storm, right?
Yes. I want to make sure I've got this right.
It's where they're riding the trash trucks.
Isn't it Sold Out? Yeah, NWO Sold Out in Iowa. Grand Rapids is not Iowa. That's Michigan. So where was it at in Iowa? Des Moines? Had to have been Des Moines.
Dubuque?
It's the only place with a fucking arena in Iowa.
I have no idea.
Dubuque. But this is where they do the Miss NWO deal.
That was Miss Elizabeth, right?
No.
No. Who was it?
It was a bunch of like fat old women, some without teeth, some that, and they did
Cedar Rapids,
Iowa
Iowa
sorry.
is what it says.
Yeah.
Attendance 5,100.
Not Grand Rapids. Cedar Rapids. I knew there was a Rapids in there.
But it was
rough.
in this snowstorm too. But is that the one where they
It's
came
January in Iowa.
riding on the trash trucks? They were all on them.
Oh.
But they had all WCW referees.
NWO referees.
Are you? I thought
Nick
there was
Nick
a lot
Patrick.
of. I thought there was a lot of inconsistencies with how this was being a
Big payday for Nick Patrick. He reffed all those matches. This is on a Saturday night also. Not a Sunday night. The
Why'd
next
they
day
do it
was
on-
the Super Bowl.
Okay, makes sense.
Crossover. But they lost matches at their own pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of weird stuff that happened. They lost more than they won. I'm wanting to say.
Might be. The Outsiders lost to the Steiner brothers. Eddie Guerrero beat Six in a ladder match. It just didn't make sense. But it didn't stop WCW. I wish I had some numbers on the shows. I don't have the Monday Night War ratings, but we have gone through the Monday Night War ratings in detail. If you check our archives, check out the Monday Night Wars episodes. We go through the basically the beginning to the end. So check that out. And also check us out. YoRadio.com. Download the YoRadio.com app. Just type in Yo Radio in the App Store. It's pretty easy. Also check us out. Facebook.com/numeral Three Horsemen Show. Same goes for Twitter. Twitter.com/numeral Three Horsemen Show. And our YouTube page is youtube.com/the three THREE Horsemen Show. Check it out. Back to the front. You've got 97 is it's kind of a mishmash of just a bunch of shit. You've got Luger beats Hogan in August for the belt. That was the only time Hogan didn't have the belt for a year and a half, somewhere in there. And that leads to Hogan beating him at this. But the whole time, you've got Sting in the, what would you call it? In the
Rafters?
Yes, the rafters.
Talk about some easy paydays.
Didn't wrestle for what? A full year and a half? Full year, at least a year.
Roughly, yeah.
Everyone? Nobody?
and-
anybody?
So what I'm okay. To me, they should have not had. So Hogan, Nash, Hall, those three. If you want to have guys in the NWO lose matches, do it with your lower
Conans.
mid card guys.
Oh, they did it.
You should have had Hogan, Hall, and Nash. Put the heavyweight belt on Hogan. Keep it on him. Put the tag belts
Yep,
on Hall and Nash.
I agree.
Keep the belts on them. Make them freaking untouchable. The fact that they had Luger beat Hogan on that Nitro, I think they just lost a ton of momentum there.
No.
But that's when the Monday night.
you don't think?
That's
No.
when the Monday night they were popping for ratings. They were trying to get ratings so bad.
And trying to get pay-per-view buys because they were going to a place where they weren't going to sell any tickets for a pay-per-view, so you needed somebody to buy the pay-per-view. That was the way to do it. It's actually one of the smarter things they did. You got to make that money
So,
back.
I missed who was 4, 5, and I heard you guys counting the numbers. Who was number 4?
Giant.
Ooh, I don't have them in order. If anybody wants to pull that up, pull them up.
Giant was fourth, but after that, I don't remember.
NWO members. I mean, you've got Billionaire Ted, you've got Six,
Well, he was obviously 6. So I think was it DiBiase, Giant.
DiBiase and the Giant.
Giant, DiBiase, 6-Pac. And then it just kind of gets out of control.
Right.
I mean, just
You've got Virgil.
Buff Bagwell. Oh, yeah, Virgil, I think, came in. And
You
Buff.
think we didn't go over Buff Bagwell already?
Yeah, we covered that during your.
But that's what. So, yeah, during my bathroom break. So, when does it become. When do they jump the shark as far as letting people in your opinion? When does it become a shit show when there's too many of them?
I don't know.
Probably whenever you have to come up with a storyline to split them up into 2 different groups.
Which would be April of 98.
So their plan was to have their own show.
Mm-hmm.
To have NWO's own. I mean, I guess that's what Thunder ended up being, but to have a NWO weekly show.
Right.
And have a separate brand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what fascinates me with that is if they are successful in doing that, what's the other brand? What's WCW become? Who's NWO? Who
It becomes WCW in 2001.
But does the NWO guys fight each other? Like, what storylines do they have there?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just the concept they talk about it. It's kind of fucking nutty if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, you could have changed the name of the company to NWO.
And there are. True. I can't believe there's this many people in there. Jesus Christ.
Is it a timeline?
No, not really. Unfortunately, it just separates them into like the original NWO, the NWO Hollywood faction, NWO Wolfpack,
NWO Hollywood faction,
NWO Elite. Yeah, that was the black and white was the Hollywood faction. The Wolfpack was red and white. And then they had NWO Elite, which were reunited the NWO after the Finger Poke of Doom.
Right.
What the hell is that?
Oh gosh.
We'll get there.
All right, that was in '99. Disco Inferno was a founding member of the NWO Elite. It says, Jesus Christ, and he had black and white.
How can you forget?
Yeah, NWO 2000.
Well, let's get back to the timeline.
Okay, so here I have the timeline of members.
Okay.
So it goes Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan, Ted DiBiase, because he was the financier. Remember the financier?
Billionaire Ted.
Yes. The Giant, NWO Sting.
Right.
Six,
Also known as Jumpin' Jeff Farmer.
Steve Borden?
No.
Jeff Farmer.
Fake Sting.
Oh,
You've never heard his promo?
No.
Oh.
Jeez.
Fuck. Okay, keep going, too.
Kind of Elvis-ish there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 was actually number 7, unless you don't count DiBiase because he wasn't a wrestler at that time. Vincent, Miss Elizabeth, Eric Bischoff, Buff Bagwell, Michael Wall Street, Big Bubba Rogers.
Right here's where it gets to be.
Scott Norton, Masahiro Chono.
That's right. We've covered that point. So
Randy
continue.
Savage.
Oh, Randy Salvage. I forgot about Randy being in there.
Dennis Rodman.
Rodman.
The Great.
That's right.
Something else we've got to cover.
Yeah.
The Great Muta.
All right. Part of NWO Japan.
Tenzan.
Hold on. I want to go back. That is a great turn that they put Muta in. They've got Muta and Chono wrestling in the ring. Chono's got a headlock on him, and he just pulls out of it and stands up, and he becomes a New World Order member in front of who was their guy? Who was their manager?
Sonny Ono.
Yes, in front of Ono. If you can look it up, go back to the Nitro episode. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it is a great turn. I enjoyed it anyway. Go ahead.
Conan.
Oh, Conan!
Kurt Hennig. Rick Rude. Louis Spicoli.
Okay, now we're getting to 97, 98, so hold there. We've got to talk about this. Keep a bookmark in Rude, because that is after the Montreal screw job. One thing we have not talked about yet is how well the NWO crossed over into mainstream, into the mainstream. Mainstream, I'm talking pop culture, I'm talking sports, everything. They were everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they were right there. I mean that's the one thing. I think Austin and The Rock get a lot of credit for crossing over in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
But the NWO did the same thing. It was just I feel like they targeted an older demographic. They were on the Tonight Show. They were on Leno. They did the thing with Rodman. They went the sports route.
MTV Summer Jams where the guy throws something and Hall leg dives him and fucking holds him down, or Nash did.
See, I don't remember. I remember the WWE having a better relationship with MTV.
What did they call it? MTV in the summer? Were they at
Spring
a
break
beach
or
house
beach
something?
house.
Or spring break? Thank you.
Yeah.
God, what happened to MTV?
See, the reason
Nothing
I didn't
good.
add much is because aside from the angle, so aside from being on Leno and then the angle they ran with Rodman and Malone, I don't remember what else
Rodman
they did.
and Hogan wrestled two wrestlers. I can't tell you who they are right now off the top of my head. But he left.
It was Diamond Dallas Page and someone.
It's DDP
Yes.
and Malone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's 98.
Okay.
Rodman wrestled another match where he was in his do-rag and cut-off shirt. In fact, I want to say that year is the year he skipped practice during the NBA Finals. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong,
Let me look and see.
but the fact is they are covering wrestling now on ESPN like it's a thing.
Rodzilla. He wrestled Lex Luger.
Luger and the Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they beat them.
Wow.
Wait.
Bash at the Beach
Rodman and
97.
Hogan. No, Luger and the Giant won.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Pinfall?
Let's take a look. See.
And this is the year that Rodman skips practice in the NBA Finals.
Was it
When-
96, 97 or something like that?
97.
97.
Hogan tapped out to Luger's torture rack.
There we go.
That's funny because
And that leads to Luger beating him again. That's in the Road Hog, whatever Wild.
so you're attributing to him
Bash
skipping
at
that
the
practice in the finals to being in the NWO because Billy Corgan, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, was on Joe Rogan's podcast and said they went to Vegas. They flew to Vegas overnight and gambled all fucking night. And Bill, whatever his name is, the head coach of the Bulls, was
Phil
pissed.
Jackson.
Phil Jackson, that's right. He was pissed off.
It was
at-
Bill Jackson.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I knew it was something. But,
Billy.
he was pissed off at Billy Corgan and wouldn't let him in the locker room because he fucking took Rodman down there to Vegas and
Wait a
gambled
minute.
with him.
Hold on. Billy Corgan was hanging out with Dennis Rodman in 1997?
100% was, yes. Watch the Joe Rogan podcast. He talks all about
This
that.
is news to me.
Yeah, 100%.
It
Talks all
doesn't
about that and
surprise
said
me.
that Phil Jackson
I've
was
never heard this
pissed
either.
off at Billy Corgan and wouldn't let him in the locker room because he flew with Dennis Rodman down to Vegas and they gambled. It was Utah, right, where the finals
Yeah.
were at? Yeah, so they flew from Utah to Vegas and fucking gambled the entire night and they missed practice the whole night. He get no sleep. Rodman got zero sleep for the next game.
Had no problem with Barkley and Jordan doing it in Phoenix in 92, 93.
Well, maybe we didn't know about that as well. But I don't think we're giving enough credit to how far their reach became because of things like that. This is that window I talked about. I can't remember when we were talking about it. When wrestling got super big and people, I feel, took their kids like, oh, all right, my kid likes this. And then they got into the middle of a wrestling crowd and said, no, these people are not normal. They don't wear deodorant.
Right.
They fucking, they're throwing shit in the ring. I am not taking my kid back to a show. They can watch it on TV. The ratings will be good, but I am not attending this shit.
No.
Do you agree, disagree? Is this their crossover moment that it's as big as it's ever been?
I guess I'm going to have to take your word for it because, again, aside from the angle with Leno and then the thing with Malone, I don't remember the ESPN MTV stuff.
It was gigantic news that Rodman skipped practice for wrestling.
No, I remember that because, I was a Bulls fan at the time, so I'm watching the NBA Finals, but I don't remember the huge crossover.
I don't either. I remember WWF getting it with Tyson. I remember WWE having remember the Super Bowl when they did the empty arena match with Mick Foley. I remember
99?
that getting promotion. I remember
The commercial during the Super Bowl.
But do you remember the Clay show that Miles Judge was what was his name? The boxing ref.
I don't know.
The Claymation show.
Oh, yeah. Celebrity Deathmatch. That was
Stone
Judge Mills
Cold
Lane.
was always on there.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'll allow it.
And then obviously Sable's Playboy. I just feel like WWE got more in the mainstream, which might overshadow what WCW did because of the demographic. I feel like Jay Leno's 10:30 at night, the stuff they did on there, it might have been.
That is later, though. That is 98. You gotta keep it in. You gotta keep the time frame in mind. They are killing the WWF in the ratings at this time.
I know. I'm just like being 16 at the time. I don't know if it meant as much to me. And I mean, I was obviously balls deep in the NBA at that time. So like,
Right.
That's I mean, I just don't remember.
As
it.
was I.
I do not remember Rodman missing the practice. I remember.
Now, are you guys being serious? You don't remember Dennis Rodman skipping practice to go to wrestling?
I'm saying I remember that stuff. I remember everything that was directly related.
Are you
to
talking
the finals
preseason? Preseason practice, like camp or a game?
The NBA finals.
I don't remember.
I remember everything related to the finals. I'm talking. I don't recall
it being wrestling oriented.
Well, no, I remember that part of it. I'm saying like the huge crossover, like it being on ESPN, it being on MTV, like on a regular basis. Like I just.
Okay, I'm wrong on the timeline. It was 98 when he came back and did the Malone thing. However, it was big news that it might have been just after they had beaten Utah that year that he came out in Chicago. He came out with them. And that was big news for him to be involved. Because God, think about how big Rodman was.
Well, he was huge at the time.
I mean, my God.
He had the thing with Madonna and Carmen Electra. No, but I mean, like, he was a household name at that point in time. He was doing the crazy, like that was the heyday of the hair.
Yes.
Dyeing his hair, doing
Yes.
the. I mean, like it was stuff that was never been done. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't like Karl Malone and Dennis. I mean, I wasn't fans of either.
Well,
so I don't know.
I also think with time, as this is 21 years later that we're talking about this,
Right.
it is diluted in our minds how big WCW and the NWO were because of what happened in the WWF.
Well, and probably how WCW ended too. How quickly
Exactly.
it turned into a dumpster fire.
Well,
you forget the good days.
I think a lot of what ruined it for me, which will probably
It'll be next week, probably.
yeah, just how the NWO angle ended and how they pissed all over it. I mean, it was just anyway. I'm not gonna go there.
No, I mean, but that's the point. That's what I'm saying. We're forgetting how big they were and how much Hogan was still Hulk Hogan. He was as big as he's ever been in this year.
Do you ever? The music. It was played so much it got annoying to me. But do you ever
Boy,
remember?
I didn't think to talk about this.
Do you ever remember seeing
The 10-minute promos with everybody in the ring?
It took them 10 minutes to get to the ring, let alone the promo. Do you remember seeing as many NWO shirts out in public as Austin 316? And I know we're talking at a different time.
Oh, yes.
See, I don't remember there being a ton of NWO shirts.
I remember more NWO shirts than Austin shirts in public.
I don't. That's the weird thing. I don't remember it that way.
Well, there's a difference between going to a wrestling event and just walking around. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. Yeah.
I think there was a lot of it, too, that the NWO was pretty popular. So, like, you see your buddies that's got a couple NWO shirts, and you know this much about it. You're like, you're going to go buy one. It's, you know what I mean? Like, there was people that were buying them just because, it was not. It was just nice to have, like, look, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
it was a cool-looking shirt.
Yeah. I mean,
Much cooler than any Austin 316 shirt.
I had
But
one of those, too.
You've said it before,
Two of
though.
them.
You've said this before. If gas stations are selling it, and when they come to town, there's people selling it outside, the knockoff stuff, that's when you know something's hot.
Well, I mean, Nash was even saying like they'd go over and do shows in Japan. They would do $1 million just for that event in their merch sales, just NWO stuff. I mean, they were selling like leather jackets. The point is they're selling more than the shirts at this point.
Yeah.
But
I remember those leather jackets. I remember them wearing them and seeing them like, who the fuck would buy that?
They bought them. Again.
And it was something WCW had never done with the merch. I mean, and that's what Nash talks about is how far behind. And then even guys that come.
They didn't have a licensee.
The guys that would come from WCW to WWE, I'd be like, holy shit, like, what? Like, I mean, like, how organized and how Vince was a visionary and how everything was stapled down to where WCW was just the Wild West of
Well, Nash said it 6-8 years ago. I don't know when it was. It was on one of the WWE roundtables. It was just about the NWO when he said they didn't have a licensee. It boggles my mind because the licensee is where the money is at that you can disperse. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't in contracts. And I will say the other thing, 1998 is the biggest year in the history of wrestling. 1997 doesn't get enough credit because without 97, there is no 98.
97 was the build-up for all of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
WWE got hot. People still weren't watching it. All the Canadian stuff. The NWO is still running their deal. Everybody's hot. Everybody's popular. Watch the crowd. Don't watch the matches. Go back and find a Nitro from 97. Watch the crowd. People are fucking insane for this stuff. Jumping up and down for matches in the early part of the show.
Well, yeah, whenever you've got, one of the loudest pops I've ever heard watching a show, whenever Dean Malenko ripping off a Cyclope mask is one of the biggest pops I've ever heard.
Great angle.
Like,
can't remember the event. It's got Jericho when Jericho was getting hot.
Yeah. I mean,
Slamboree.
I don't know.
So everything was over. Everybody was over.
Yeah.
One thing I feel like they didn't do right, and this is might be shitty, but you had Sonny, you had Sable that were, they were draws for WWE at one point in time. Mm-hmm. They were over. They were selling merch. They were doing that. NWO, WCW, answer with Miss Elizabeth. I'm not
Nitro Girls.
But that's still not NWO.
There's nothing like watching Kimberly dance. Or not dance.
Yeah, she was not very good.
Just a few steps behind each dance number. That's enough reason to tune in right there. It's perfect. Okay, we're putting a pin in this. So we're going to come back when we get to Hogan Sting. We've done this before.
We haven't even got the Goldberg yet. And how Goldberg furthers the NWO.
Very, very true. And we're going to come back to all that next week. I did not know the NWO would go 2 shows, but after I had looked some things up, I started thinking we might have 2 shows.
This is definitely 2 shows.
So we'll come back to that next week. Now, I have done all of the listening audience a favor. I am not in charge of trivia this week, nor will I ever be again after last week's atrocity, and that's what it was, that I forced upon you listeners, and I apologize wholeheartedly. Alex, take it away.
So now Corey gets to come back and beat everybody's ass and feel good about himself today.
Yes.
All right.
T.O.'s in charge of trivia today. What are we doing, T.O.?
Hold on, and I'll tell you.
One thing I did like that Corey did is he had a physical board.
Well, I was a football coach.
So we were going to do the same thing.
Was.
Of course, you can't see it on the stream.
Fuck off.
But this is what we're gonna do. We've got 90s WWF, 90s WCW, 2000s WWF, and
Buff Bagwell. Nope,
2000s WCW. Now, 2000s WCW is going to be
hard.
2 years.
Hard,
just about. So there's
no way I'm winning any fucking money here. I guarantee that.
I didn't get to play Jumpin' Jeff Farmer's promo. Fuck. Look up Jumping Jeff Farmer. This may be what
next
we
week.
play after.
Next week.
There we go.
I'll start it out since.
Hold on. Whoa.
I want Eric Steele's.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. The order is, and this is random, I promise.
Of course it is.
It would. Well, so since Everett is not here, he actually would have been last. I think that's why he's not here.
Yes, by default.
Corey is last. T.O., Eric, and Corey is the order.
Oh,
so
still Eric's. Congratulations.
So we will start off with T.O. Pick a category.
Was it WWF 80s or 90s?
We have
We have 90s WWF, 90s
Okay.
WCW, 2000s
Let's
WWF.
just get out ahead early.
2000s
90s for 1,000. WWF.
90s WWF for 1,000.
I'll be your board marker too.
Alrighty. What was Max Payne's ring name when he was in the WWF?
Oh. No.
He was Max Payne in WCW.
Fuck. It's Mount Man.
The Rock Mountain Man?
No, it's something like that though. Man Mountain Rock. Or
Is that your final?
Is that even a name?
We need a final answer.
Man Mountain Rock, I think.
Come on.
Did I get it in the right order?
Real.
That is correct.
Had a baby.
Wow.
There was a guy named Man, Mountain, Rock.
Dude, do you think we make shit up
Just
on
throw
this
three
show?
verbs together. Fuck it, Man, Mountain, Rock.
His name was Ice Train. I tell you what, there's going to be an Ice Train reference
Dog
every
Cat.
week from now on.
So
All right.
I think I got
Eric.
a plan. If I can pick $1,000 one and Corey can not steal it from me if I miss it and then he misses. See,
Nope,
we get all
doesn't work.
the top ones out of the way. That way it's less money for him at the end of the game. So
I love how we're talking as if this is real money.
I'm gonna yeah right.
Pride.
Give me 1,000 for 2000's WWF
Oh.
For 1,000.
for 1,000.
Uh-oh.
I'll never know.
Okay, so there was a stable in the WWF called the Oddities.
Oh, fuck, I don't know this.
Name 2 of the members.
Oh.
2 members of
Didn't
the
have
Oddities.
half the Howard Stern show?
No, I know Luna Vachon.
Oh, hold on.
Luna Vachon was one of the Oddities.
We need a second oddity.
10 seconds.
The Kurgan.
Correct.
Woo!
$1,000.
Didn't they carry the Cartman doll? Did Kurgan carry
I
the
think
Cartman
so.
doll?
He did. Wow.
How did I even get? That's like the best. I've
Eric
ever
has just
done
broken
on
his
this
all-time
show.
record.
Right. I have
Don't
1,000.
answer anymore.
Yeah. I'm
90s
bidding nothing.
WCW for I take that back. 2000s WCW for 1,000.
Uh-oh.
2000s WCW for 1,000. Okay, plus or minus 10. So I'll give you some leeway. Plus or minus 10. In the year 2000, how many performers were under a contract in WCW? Plus or minus 10.
Holy shit.
And we have covered this in a previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
I will say 163.
Incorrect.
Damn.
I was wanting to say 187.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
125.
Incorrect. Double your number.
250.
250.
Wow.
Holy shit. How did they go out of business?
No shit. There was about 7 of them that were popular, right? They're paying 243
Who put
wrestlers.
I'll do
Who put that business model together?
2000s WCW for 500.
Wait, hold on. 2000s WCW for
500.
500.
500. Okay. There was a stable called the Natural Born Thrillers. How many members did that stable have in it?
Wow.
2.
Final answer?
2.
Incorrect.
Eric,
Oh,
go ahead.
I was thinking the
how
tag
many-
team.
I have no freaking idea. It's I literally have no idea. I'm just gonna pick lucky number 7. I have no clue how many's in
Lucky number
That is
7.
correct.
That a baby.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
Eric is on it today. That's
Did
a
I get it?
1,500
Get the
spot
fuck
for Eric.
out. This is not no.
Go ahead, pick a category.
Yeah, it's your turn, Eric.
Wow.
Who were?
Let's look here. So let me get.
Was that Jericho's tag team with Lance Stormlow? Were they the natural Thrill
No.
Seekers?
Thrill Seekers.
Yeah.
Dang it.
And with one man hurt, they would be seeking half the thrills of a normal team.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
get 90s WWF for 500.
I like it.
Man. Okay, only Eric would get this question.
What is it? It's gonna be Harlem Heat.
How many different people wrestled? Now, that's the key word. How many different people wrestled as the character Doink
I know this
in
Corey,
WWF matches?
Corey gave me shit about it because we were on the different dude. So that's
Well,
got
hold on. But there are different people that portrayed the character, but I'm looking for how many different people actually wrestled as the character.
Ray Apollo.
Yeah, see, I remember. So I looked this up. This is 5. I looked
that-
this
is
up.
that your
because,
final
Yeah,
answer?
because Corey was giving me shit about it that day. I did the real name, so I had to go and look this up. I swear to God,
That is correct.
That a boy. Hey,
What
you're
is up,
fucking
dude?
killing
For
it.
2,000.
Yeah.
Oh, we're having a day here, boys. I'm going to take 90s WCW for 1,000. I love this game. This is the
Okay,
best.
you said 90s WCW,
For 1,000.
90s WCW for 1,000.
Are you genuinely upset over there? What is wrong with you?
I can't
Eric is
believe-
answering questions.
Right. I'm answering them right. I'm not just answering them. I'm answering them right.
90s WCW for 1,000.
Uh-huh.
I need the month and the year.
Okay.
When did WCW finally turn a profit? Month and year.
Ooh.
That's a fucking hard one.
Now, they have to turn a profit for the whole year, or they turned a profit over. Okay, so there were more months left. 6 months. 8 months left. I will say, June of 97.
Incorrect.
It's for 1,000.
September of 97.
Incorrect.
I'm gonna go right with you. March 97.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
I thought you were gonna say it was June of 95.
Oh, yeah.
They turned a profit in June of 95?
Yep.
That's a full year for Hogan. Perfect timing. Damn.
Okay, what's left?
0 for 2.
What's left?
Everything except for the ones that are scribbled out.
Okay.
This is not hard.
2000s WCW. There's so many
No,
limit
2000s WWF is the only one that's left.
for 300.
So which one are you doing?
2000 WCW for 300.
Okay.
Got it.
There's such a small sample size. These might be easy.
So
Yeah, natural born thrillers.
Fuck you.
Well, I missed it.
So-
I missed one too.
So, around the time that WCW closed, they started turning into the NWA and throwing out new titles left and right. What was the last championship WCW created before it closed?
Oh, they did something stupid. It was a gimmick. Not women's tag team. Was it?
10
Hold on.
seconds.
Quit fucking putting the. You aren't putting the clock on anybody else. They did the.
Nobody's taking forever to answer the question.
cruiserweight tag teams.
Correct.
Or the
That a boy.
or the junior lightweight
Fuck, do
tag
you guys
team.
know that?
No, because I remember they were doing anything they can, and then they were trying to be like pure wrestling because they realized all those guys were getting over on WWF.
Take a look, Eric. Pick a category. I would have never gotten that, by the way.
You didn't know that one?
No.
90s WCW for 500.
90s WCW 500.
Oh, Jesus.
What was the name of WCW's Thursday program?
Well, it's Thunder. Thursday Night Thunder, right?
Oh, gee.
That is
Glad I
correct.
talked about that earlier.
Right, yeah. Tio just said something about that, but
Eric's up to 25.
this is insane. This is insane.
I am loving this. I hope I don't get fucking one right. 2000s WWF for 500.
Say it again. 2000s.
WWF
See,
5.
I won't know any of those. That's the. I don't.
The 2000s WWF?
Like early 2000.
Come on.
Okay. 2000s WWF for 500. Okay, so the final episode of Nitro was under the WWF's umbrella.
Correct.
The last match on
Is that it? Is that all I had
No,
to get
no,
right?
no.
Oh, shit.
The last match on the card, I need to know
Flair and Sting.
who requested that match happen.
Pritchard.
Incorrect.
Tio, wake up.
Let's say Ric Flair. That's my
Incorrect.
answer, Ric Flair. Okay.
What was the match again?
Flair and Sting.
Go ahead and pull
Was
us.
the last
Sting.
match
Well,
on
no,
Nitro.
I'm just gonna pick Sting.
Pull us
then.
out your ass, Houdini.
I'm just gonna pick Sting then, because I mean you picked Flair. That wasn't right. Sting.
Incorrect.
Vince McMahon.
He did.
Knew it as soon as I said the wrong answer. Nobody. Yet again.
Okay. So
Who's it to now?
that
You.
it's the final Jeopardy now.
Why? We out of time?
No, that was all I had as far as questions. Instead of doing all of them,
Very good.
Okay.
I don't have any money to gamble with.
I'll give you 5. I'll loan it to you.
You know what's a shame? Is all the ones that I missed, nobody got them.
We were close.
Let's get you.
okay.
So we got, give them the totals.
So we've got Tio at
Jesus
1300, Eric at 2500. Corey didn't get it.
Didn't get any right.
20,
What do I get to gamble with then? 300?
I tell you, I'll
I get
spot you
300. That's what we've done before.
I'll give you 5 for 7 next week.
How many Final Jeopardy questions are there?
Just one.
Okay.
There's just one. So how are we doing on time? This is.
We got 13 minutes left.
Okay. Well.
You didn't have any more questions?
No.
You've had fucking extra questions in all the other ones. Now you've got 9?
Because I didn't want to fill up the board.
Oh, man.
Just as a...
Let's just go ahead and do it. I mean,
Okay.
we'll just go.
We can talk extra stuff at the end here.
Okay, so my final Jeopardy is geared towards what I thought was going to be next week's show, but we might postpone it a week. I figured we could talk at least what some say is the greatest pay-per-view of all time, WrestleMania 17. So that is the...
So what's second? I know it. Oh.
What's the second greatest pay-per-view of all time?
Fuck, man. Great American Bash 89. Look it up. Okay, here we go.
We're distributing paper towels.
Okay.
Is that Armand? What do you know?
I know. Here we go. So we got to put our gambles down. Put your gamble down.
Put your gamble down. If Corey wins this, you guys, I'm going to be so disappointed in you.
Oh, so you did rig this so I'd lose. Figures.
I'm just saying you've got 300 to work with. If these
Who
guys
requested a match go 8 minutes extra? See, in my last week, I did the worst. Oh, it was so bad. So bad. I was asking who won matches and who did the heel turn.
That's crazy.
Oh, it was bad. Okay.
You know, I'll tell you what. I only had one question planned. I'll do 2.
Oh, cool.
I'll do 2. Okay, the first question is,
And I'll go first
that's
to answer
that's fine.
because
That's fine. How many title changes happened on the card? WrestleMania 17, how many title changes occurred? I don't need to know what they were. Just tell me how many there were.
Where was 17? I want to make sure it
Houston.
wasn't one that Corey went to. You went to the fucking thing, didn't you? Oh, no.
Damn.
No, Ron Simmons was not on it. Actually, he was. I take that back.
Does everybody have their answers written down?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. I'll go first. My answer's 3.
Incorrect. How much did you...
All of it.
Eric.
I risked no money and also chose 3.
Okay.
It's 4.
Incorrect.
4.
5.
Who's the 5th?
So we've got...
Hold on. Okay.
Kane-
Austin beat The Rock.
Right?
Who did Kane beat?
Kane beat Raven and Big Show for the hardcore title.
Who could forget that? Joni Lauer beat Ivory.
Yep.
And Christian Cage beat... No, I'm sorry. The other one's Intercontinental. Go ahead.
Okay, so Kane won the hardcore belt from Raven and Big Show. Eddie Guerrero won the European title. Chyna beat Ivory for the women's title. Edge and Christian won the tag belts. Steve Austin beat Rock for the WWF title.
Wow.
I'm over.
Wow.
Now that I have no money, I'll probably get this right. You have to.
Why?
You have to bet something. Because watch Jeopardy, motherfucker.
when they're more than double ahead of the other guy, they bet nothing and still win after Final
They
Jeopardy.
bet $1.
Okay, so I bet $1. Now I'm at $24.99.
Okay.
I'm holding on to this win, Corey. You ain't taking it from me, okay?
If he bets everything and beats you, you're never mind.
I'm down to 700.
All right.
That's game, baby. That's game.
Bet
No,
all
you
of
can
it.
risk everything.
Yeah.
All right. Last question.
All right. Wait, we writing down how much we're risking here?
Yeah,
You two are.
How much? Oh,
Yes.
I'm out.
I'll give you another 300.
Okay. I bet it all.
That's right. We have the Bank of T.O. How could I forget?
That's right.
It's over $3,000 right now.
Everybody got their bets?
$3,000 which direction? Oh.
Yeah, we're -3, buddy.
Okay. So we're ready. Here we go. Here's the
Okay.
question.
Shane McMahon and Mr. McMahon had a match.
Oh, God.
Who was the special guest referee for that match?
Got him. I'll win.
Wow. Look at that with confidence.
You
You cheating fucker.
I already got mine written down. I'm done.
Okay. Mick Foley.
Yep.
I told you. As soon as I didn't have any money.
Uh-oh.
He got it.
No, I didn't.
Who'd you put?
I don't even want to say now.
Why?
Stone Cold. Didn't he ref a
wrestled.
match for fucking Vince McMahon one time though? I thought I remembered that.
Not the match he made.
How much did you wager?
Well, $4.99, of course.
I put Linda. I bet 200. So it left me with $500.
I got a question.
Another one for the good guys.
Eric wins. Hey, there's a first time for everything.
Hey, yo.
gentlemen.
I'm going to do a little survey here.
Oh boy.
okay?
Oh
That's
boy.
awful.
I don't know who you're.
Just
Or
quit
against
while you're
me.
ahead.
Is this your Bill Clinton impersonation? Who is that?
No,
Is that
that was
O.J. Simpson?
yes.
Okay. Oh, that sounds more like that. That was good stuff. There it is. Hey, we got the finger in the point. Well, that was good.
Yeah, it was tons of fun.
Tell you what, this might have been our best episode since we
Dude,
rebooted.
I caught that lucky ass 7 on the. I don't even remember the name of that like the fucking group.
You had like Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, Jindrak, Stasiak.
Who can
Who the
forget?
hell are these guys?
That makes
I
it
literally
even better.
picked number 7, like lucky number 7. I literally picked 7.
Some guy named Sanders.
Bernie?
I don't.
Colonel?
Robert?
No.
Sarah?
Hey, I didn't say anything about this.
Huge erection? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What? That was Hugh Morris's name.
Yes.
Jeez.
Let's talk about your belt.
This is the NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship belt. We didn't get to the only NWO member to hold this belt. We will next week, but Dusty Rhodes held this. Let's see.
Because he was the scene on 17. That's what channel WTBS was.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. You had Tommy Rich held this.
Oh. Wildfire. Boy. You
Why am
say
I not
nothing
thinking
about
of any-
my mama?
Why am I not thinking of anybody else? Who else had this?
Mr. Wrestling 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if technically DiBiase was holding. It wouldn't have been in that form.
Duggan.
Just naming people. Anybody else, Tio? keep the listeners informed.
Harley Race.
Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat held it.
Harlem Heat, baby.
Harlem Heat held the Georgia National Tag.
Let's see. We've got
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Hey. Sid Udy held this. Lord Humongous.
Oh boy.
Not
Dick
this.
the
Not,
Bruiser.
not this version. But,
No.
Let's see. Steve Kern.
There we go.
Dennis Condrey.
Now we're
Skinner?
talking Skinner. That's how everybody knows him.
Tony Atlas. Ken Patera.
There
How
we
did I
go.
Forget Ken Patera. Wahoo held this.
Bill Watts.
Stan Hansen. Dick Slater. Paul Jones.
Dirty Dick Slater.
So
What's your language?
Nikolai. Abdullah the Butcher held this.
Abby. I didn't know Abby held a title ever.
Yep. Rocky
Yes,
Johnson.
thought he
Who
held-
said Harley Race?
Hep C.
I did.
Harley Race had this.
A fork and a
said
belt.
1974.
Me.
Held it for about a week. Don Morocco. Bill Watts.
Of course.
So
Junior? Eric Watts?
Bachwinkle had it.
I love the SDF. Is SDF.
Fred Blassie. Johnny Valentine. So
Oh, you're
yeah.
going way back in time.
I didn't know Freddie Blassie wrestled.
Right in all your guys' sweet spots. The 60s.
Classy Freddie Blassie wrestled. I did not know that.
He did. He did.
You're just trying to insult me on top of this fucking horse shit game we played.
But Eric knew it though
insult.
since he won.
Pour some salt in the wound there, Chief.
Wahoo.
Guess who? Wahoo. Did you know that's what they did at the Jets games?
No.
Yeah, when he'd make a tackle, they'd say, guess who? And everybody in the stands would chant, Wahoo.
Yeah.
He was a fucking great football
I
player.
want to get that Greg Valentine shirt that he wore. I broke Wahoo's leg.
Oh. It's good stuff, man. That's old Mid-Atlantic shit.
Eric's like looking at me like a deer in headlights. What?
The Hammer Valentine? Rhythm and
I
Blues?
remember,
Greg Valentine?
I remember him, but I didn't know there were shirts that
Greg
existed.
Valentine. I know him. He was in a tag team with the Honky Tonk Man. That's the only way I know him, though. That was a joke.
Blonde hair
No, he dyed it
In
black.
black. Jet black.
back then.
Yeah. This is the late 80s, early 90s? Ooh, Rhythm and Blues.
Yeah.
What a tag team.
Shake,
A honky
rattle, and roll.
You had the High Flyer and the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
So just back to the did the NWO music finally annoy you? Did it get to a point where you just hated hearing it?
Yeah.
And then they did the voiceovers eventually.
but you had to
too sweet.
Yeah. Hogan had to have his
Voodoo
separate.
Child,
Right.
which again shows how out of touch he was with pop culture and what was popular at the time.
Okay, so what's better, the Wolfpack's music or NWO?
What was a Wolfpack? The Howl and the Bad Rap?
Wolfpack's back on the mess. I don't know the words, so I'm singing like this. Wolfpack's back.
Did you have that song like burnt on anything when you had your license?
No, I didn't.
That was his ringer on his big phone that he had to carry in a suitcase. He had that phone, and he had that ringer.
How old do you think I am? My first phone was a Nokia. One of those.
The flip.
No, it wasn't even
Little
a flip.
block
Before
phone?
flips, yeah, it was the Nokia
Had the
block.
snake game on it?
Yeah, buddy, that's right. Called Nibbles. What's the name of the game?
You named your phone Nibbles?
Nibbles?
Nibbles the phone.
That game, when you used to play it on the computer, was called Nibbles.
Dude, your new nickname is Nibbles.
You know what I mean?
Nibs for short.
Nibs? About nubs.
No. Everything that starts with an N.
What's up, Tuna? I mean, Nibbles?
Nibs.
Might
Nibs,
as well
grab
call
me.
you In Money.
Oh, dude.
Nibbles.
You are Nibs from now on. Wait till your office gets a hold of that one.
Well, you just wait until next week, and then maybe I'll beat your ass in the game again.
You're so money. You're Nibs money.
We get it.
Eric wins a fucking game. Now he's cutting promos to end the show.
I can see Corey now. It was the Corey Smith screw job.
That's right. There we go. Cutting promos like a motherfucker. This is what happens when T.O. can't come through in a fucking trivia game.
Brother just texted me and just saw Jeff Jarrett down in Nashville. Pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say Jeff Jarrett died. You
I
started
was
with a D.
I was waiting for that too.
You talking
Damn.
about J-E,
Double
double F,
J-A,
double
R.
E,
double T.
Wow.
Got dark quick.
I guess we lost.
I saw
Jeff Jarrett.
I saw all those TNA guys when I was in Orlando for WrestleMania 24. Just a bunch of TNA guys sitting at Hooters, chilling.
Really?
Yep. We went to the Hall of
Nice.
Fame that night, then we went to that. It was Kenny Dykstra was there. A couple other guys were there. And now I can't. Who's the guy that's the little guy? He's a good wrestler, good promo.
You talking about
Ziggler?
Dink?
No, he was in TNA forever. Now I think he's getting a shot with.
Styles.
No, sorry. Eric Young.
Yeah.
Eric Young. All those guys were just chilling at a Hooters.
Really?
Yep.
Did you get autographs and shit, or did you? I mean, did you go see him, or did you
I was
just?
like 25 at the
Oh,
time.
right.
No, he's not.
You were
T-
too
he's
cool
not-
to fanboy.
He's
on
not
him.
T.O.
I'd go over and introduce myself. How you doing, man? I watched all your shows. Sorry to bug you and interrupt you.
Me and my buddy were like, hey, we're not going to go say anything.
I would have. Fuck it. What's the worst they're gonna do? Body slam me inside Hooters? Then you got a story.
Yeah.
And then you got I got body slammed by Dick the Bruiser.
You got a
inside
story, man. You got a lawsuit.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
Somebody would have finally seen a guy in TNA perform a body slam. Somebody would have finally seen a guy in TNA wrestle. Nah, anyway. Okay. We're out of time. We got about 20 seconds left somewhere in there.
We're on the cusp.
We are. We're going to get out of here. Great show. We're
Very
going to come back and do it again. You
fun.
guys better have some life like you had this week because we're going to have Big Easy back, and it's going to be a super.
I wonder how the
show.
game would have changed if he was in. Like, I probably wouldn't have won because if he'd have got the chance to.
Thank you, Eric.
I'm just saying.
I
like,
love that you came up with that. I appreciate. I agree.
So the order would have still been the same. Everett just would have went last.
we would
after
have got
Corey.
the same question.
Oh, so Everett would have got the hard shit. Corey would have won because he would have got the easier
Not
questions.
technically, because it's all based on what price you would. But now that we know that none of those prices mattered,
What do you mean?
because you didn't have all the questions for every category, so who knows where they would have gone.
Oh yeah, good point.
Thank you. That's why.
Good
I'm here,
point.
boys. Okay, we're getting out of here. As usual, T.O. is already checked out. Eric, the winner. Alex, the dealer. Corey, the loser. We'll see you next week for the Three Horsemen Show. In that, baby.